Well, it's pretty cheap to well. It's only cost me 450 for a S6 R1. Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, like I said, it just depends on the person and, how they are and what's available for their funds too, Because I mean, 450, while, is not, a super a lot, it's still a lot, it's definitely a lot for someone. For example, like how I grew up personally, spending 450 on like a game character would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? you know, but but just in general, everyone's in different economical situations. So while 450 might be reasonable or low for some person, it may not be for other people. So, but it's nice. It's good that 450 is, it's fairly cheap for you. It means that you're in a fairly nice position, in terms of funds. So that's always a plus. It's always good for sure. If you're able to do that, then that's always enjoyable. You have that disposable income, then that's always good. $20 is a lot for free to play. I understand the struggle, bro. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're free to play, then technically speaking, any money is a lot for because you're free to play. So you have to understand that some people, it's really it just comes down to what each individual's priorities are. Ultimately is what it comes down to. So it's kind of like how I mentioned the shoe thing. Like for me, it's never made sense. Like pretty much picture like this. I'm like the Adam Sandler type. Like as the core person that I am is an Adam Sandler type. So for those who don't know what an Adam Sandler type is, Adam Sandler, he's obviously a millionaire, but he walks around and like at any given time, he probably has like $10 worth of clothes on him. He has like some raggedy basketball shorts or just a regular t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Some sneakers that he probably got from like Payless or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And he just lives, bro. So like, I'm pretty much that same type of way. Like not like literally, but pretty much I'm that same type of way with money. Whereas I guess and the word would be frugal, right? Where it's like I really I prefer to have like money sitting around so that if I want to do something, I can just get up and do it. Like if I just want to just like one day just it's like go somewhere or do this or get something like that, then I can. But I don't tend to spend on wants a lot. I generally tend to spend on needs, whereas wants are a very far few and like kind of in between type deal. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of how I am. Like, I don't really overly see the like I've never understood this whole sneaker thing. When I was younger, admittedly, when I got my first job, when I was like, well, technically speaking, it wasn't my first job. That's my first job was when I got like my first legal job, because I had because I guess I was like working like under the table, I guess, when I was before I could actually legally work, But when I was like 16, I got my first job. Naturally, at that time, I did spend like on shoes and and on hats and all types of materialistic things like that. But by the time I reached my early 20s, I guess, by the time I reached like my early 20s or maybe like 19 or something like that, that far outphased me in my lifestyle, I guess. And I think that also just kind of falls back to kind of how I was kind of upbrung. And like for instance, like Christmas, for example, you know, at a very young age, I realized that, you know, hopefully there's no kids in here who don't realize this, but your parents actually spend money. There's no Santa Claus. There's no Santa Claus. But at a young age, I realized that my parents purchased these gifts, and, and I was pretty young at this time, and so ever since then, like, I stopped asking for gifts for Christmas. So, you know, pretty much like Christmas, like, you know, like some socks, you know, maybe a shirt, some boxers or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But nothing fancy. Christmas has always kind of been more so of a spend time with family type deal for me. But yeah, when I realized that my parents actually, you know, spend money for gifts for Christmas, I stopped asking for things, and so that's just kind of falls back to like how I am as a core person and understanding like the value of money. So I tend not to use it on things that I don't really need. You know. And also, I'm also the type of person who, like, if I have money, if I have copious amounts of money, I'm more so the type of person who will do good things with it, like good deeds with it. I'll, you know, maybe if I go somewhere and I see someone who's, you know, having a rough day or something like that, I go to a restaurant, see someone having a rough day or something like that, then I'm the type of person who's more likely to, you know, like tip greatly, or, you know, or just go out my way to, like, just randomly one day, just be like, you know what, I'm gonna go out and just buy like a bunch of flowers and hand them out to old ladies, you know, at the supermarket, just to so that way they can smile or something like that. Like, I'm one of those, like, I'm more so one of those type of people when it comes to money. I'm fairly selfless to a large degree. And not in the sense of the, like, selfless to the point where it's like, oh, you walk over. No, I'm selfless to the point of, you know, I prioritize myself first, but when I'm in the position where I can be selfless, you know, it's kind of like you can't help yourself if you can't help others if you can't help yourself, you know. So that's just how I am. Just how I am as a person, and, you know, my core values, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, I've kind of always been like that. And like I said, it definitely goes back to me just understanding the value of money. And, you know, I come from a family that, you know, my dad grew up in the poorest part of the states, and actually one of the racist parts of the states. And, you know, he had segregated schools until he was in high school. He's not even that old. But and then my mom is like strict country. So naturally I have a strong understanding for, you know, the value of money, and I also have a strong value of, like, working in hospitality and, you know, being kind to others, and, you know, that stuff you get from, like, the countryside of me. But then, of course, you know, the money side and whatnot that I probably get from my dad. My dad came from nothing, and literally nothing. Like, when people say come from nothing, like, no, my dad came from nothing, and he was very successful. He turned out to be very successful. So to recycle to what we were even talking about, when it comes to spending on things, for me, I guess I go through a series of checks and thoughts on, do I really need this or not? You know.
Spike to content.